cold front that just came down. For us, it's quite a bit chillier than we'd like.
So with these frontal conditions that we have today, it's just natural that we're going to have obstacles to overcome. I think our fallback, especially in this area, is going to be the redfish. Our new challenge becomes trying to figure out where have they gone and what are they doing.
I got a good idea. Watch them. They're a lot better at finding them than me.
Got them.
Yeah, redfish.
All right. The largemouth bass of the flats. That's a little nicer fish. Ain't nothing wrong with him.
Look at the colors on him.
Beautiful.
Any day on the boat's better than a day in the office. Oh, he's right on it, right on it. He's right on it. Hopefully this will inspire some people to get off the couch on a day that they wouldn't necessarily go and go have fun. Come on, eat it. There he is.
Sun is brought to you by Island Murata and Stewart Boatworks, from flats to fathoms. Kicker Audio, living loud. Pelican, built to protect. Mercury Marine. And by Z-Man, the science and art of fishing.
So, obviously, well, all you people in TV land, there's a cold front that just came down. Wind's coming out of the north.
Yep.
For us, it's quite a bit chillier than we'd like. Seeing how I'm an islander and he's a Florida boy.
Panhandler. Wait, that means something different. No. We're in the panhandle.
That's good stuff right there.
So when we're talking about a front moving through and, you know, the weather dropping off here, big cold front, things like that, I guess it's all relative, because to me it is a real cold front, you know. I mean, if it drops down in the 60s, 50s at night, that's a cold front. I mean, we're in Florida, but we're in the Panhandle. We're in North Florida, and we do get winters here, which is great. That's why we're out here in the woods, and it's beautiful right now. But Travis, on the other hand, to him, this isn't just a cold front. This is an extreme front, okay? He's coming from the Keys. I mean, anytime it drops out of the 90s there, they're wearing coats and boots and scarves.
Yeah, I did the coldest I've ever been in my life is in Louisiana at like 37 degrees.
Yeah.
Great thing about cold fronts is it allows me to talk everybody into gentleman's hours. You know, when you got a production crew and you got some guys want to go early, some guys you got to wait on because they're messing with cameras and audio equipment and whatnot. You know, cold front puts the pause on all that, so it allows us to wait till the sun comes out and the world starts warming up. You know, the good thing about not knowing what to expect is if you have lower expectations and you just go fishing, you always come across something fun. Plus we're on a boat ride or, you know, out on the water, or if you got the game plan and you go do the have to do everything the specific way.
Yeah.
In conditions like this, it's pretty much just setting yourself up for failure.
So it's no secret that I'm a planner. Anything that I can control and plan, I like to.
All right,
So we don't know what the fishing's gonna be like after this cold front. That's just the way it goes. The water levels have dropped. We've had 3 days now of this
north wind,
hard north wind.
Yep.
And so the tides are extremely low. I'd imagine up on the flats further up the bay, you'll see redfish tailing, because where it used to be 2 feet of water, it's about 6 inches now.
I like to look at the conditions, find days with nice weather, light winds, all those things, and I'll usually talk to Travis, give him a shout, you know, hey look, we got 3 days of perfect weather, let's try to film some stuff. So some days we have perfect conditions. On this day, not so much, but we're going fishing anyways. So plan A, redfish on the flats. I mean, we're talking a foot and a half, 2 feet of water. Extremely shallow water.
Yeah, great bottom, man.
Pretty grass.
Hooked up. High potential to be a sail cat though.
So with these frontal conditions that we have today, high winds, temperatures dropping fast, it's just natural that we're gonna have obstacles to overcome. Not only physically us getting to the fish, that's not the only problem we have. The other problem that we face, the fact the water temperature is probably gonna be dropping 10 degrees in the matter of a 24-hour time span. And when we go through a change like that, you know, we certainly feel it in the air temperature, but these fish feel it more than we do. So our new challenge becomes trying to figure out where have they gone and what are they doing.
I got a good idea. Watch them. They're a lot better at finding them than me.
So the first thing I do is try to narrow down exactly what I'm trying to target when I'm looking at a tough set of conditions. I think our fallback, especially in this area, is going to be the redfish. It's one of those fish that we feel like no matter what Mother Nature throws at us, we're going to figure out some way to catch a redfish. So plan A, redfish on the flats. I mean, we're talking a foot, foot and a half, 2 feet of water, extremely shallow water.
Yeah, great bottom, man.
Pretty grass.
So when you go to a new area, there's a few barometers that are in the water that you can use just by looking to see what's in your surroundings. So if there's a crab trap sticking out of the water, that obviously means you can't run there. But typically, since the traps are, you know, at least 12 inches in any one direction, if the crab trap's totally submerged, you know it's at least 12 inches deep there. So when you got a line of crab trap balls and you want to run through an area, you can typically make it if the crab trap isn't exposed. With fishing, I like to just have anything pull. Oh, got a little pullback. In an area that I haven't fished in a while, you know, I'm not really specific species targeting. And it doesn't really matter what it is. It's about the tug. The tug is the drug. You know? We're having fun. Just because I don't want to get cold, we're gonna not touch him and let him keep all his slime. See ya, buddy.
That's a win-win situation.
Yes, it is. I'm dry, it's cold, and there's still fish down there. Love fishing topwater, so fun. No. Oh, come on. You can't be that dumb.
He's young. Get out of here.
Hooked up.
No.
Straight up. High potential to be a sail cat though. Since we are
Most people don't think of a catfish biting a topwater plug, but a sail cat's different than other catfish.
Yeah, right.
So when you look at the anatomy of a catfish, it's not a fish you would really think is going to bite a topwater plug. And that's because his mouth is on the bottom of his head. And it's just not really something that you would think is going to reach up towards the surface and grab a plug. Well, this catfish, the sail cat, is unlike any other catfish because it will actually bite a topwater plug. And the bite can be very similar, and that's what kind of had us fooled. We saw these fish come up and blow up on these plugs, and a catfish out here in the bay will actually bite a topwater plug sometimes.
Gaff top sail catfish, not something that we actually wake up in the morning and say, we're gonna go catch a gaff top sail catfish. You know, I mean, who does that? But if you happen to be out there fishing along and you're checking different areas and you run into a cool bite, guess what? Catch them, it's fun. I mean, anything that eats topwater voraciously, it's worth catching, at least to watch him eat it. I mean, it's so much fun. Oh, he's right on it, right on it. He's right on it. Come on, eat it. There he is. Is that not cool? I've got the giant. I wonder what the world record on these things is. I looked at one point, it was like 8 pounds.
I don't know, but I know that we get them about twice that size, if not bigger than that.
Hey, little buddy, oh, come on. They do spin a lot. We thought we were seeing redfish crushing on top, and I believe there were redfish in there because, you know, red's red. It's kind of hard to turn a gray fish into a redfish. And we'd cast in there and bam, those catfish were just that much more voracious than the redfish were that day.
Look how big that mouth is. Sayonara.
So I guess the negative attitude we have towards these sail cats is probably not so much from the bite and the pull and the fight and all that, because that's pretty decent. But as you get that fish close to the boat, you see your line is just covered in slime. That's why I heard them called snot sharks, because they cover your line in snot.
That is a slimy critter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want to get the slime off my hands, which I do, but the water is
I don't want to get wet.
cold once you pull your hands out of the water.
And granted, there's a little slimy and there's some funkiness in it.
I got slime on me.
But hey, you know, in the end, for me, again, it's about sight fishing and the thrill and the excitement of seeing something eat on the surface. These guys are eating, you know, they're eating giant pogies and they're chasing them down and crushing them, and it's super cool. Granted, you can't eat them, but you know, we've heard tell of people eating them. I'm not gonna try one, but you know, some people say they're good. It's just some things I'm not gonna do, and the slime is a little bit of a deterrent for me.
So red fishing is very similar to bass fishing in the fact they like to relate to structure, especially docks.
So in all the dock fishing I've done, I haven't ever figured out what makes one dock better than the other.
That might be what we're looking for.
It might be a red one.
Yeah, run, 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 little bulldog.
So when I look at the weather and I see a big front coming through like this, especially when it's the first front of the year, the first thing that comes to mind when I see on the electronics exactly how much the water temperatures drop. Like I said, it fell off 10 degrees. When you have a situation like that, the next thing I like to look at is what's the closest place to that flat where I know these redfish were that's got a depression or an area that's gonna be deeper. Because if I'm a redfish and it's a foot of water and it gets really cold and that water cools off a lot, I'm gonna try to find some deeper water somewhere that can possibly be warmer. And a lot of times you'll find those deeper areas off the edges of these flats or anywhere you have a dock, a boat dock. So that was my next go-to plan, was gonna be to check some of these docks because you have deeper water, probably a little warmer water because it's deeper. And then you also have structure there.
I know what I'm getting you for Christmas.
A chum bat?
Yes, sir.
I got one on my boat. Need to get Bear one for Christmas.
Right? Chum bat. That's what he's getting for Christmas. Faux show.
The half a wiffle ball bat.
Yeah, they take a wiffle ball bat and they cut a slant in it. Allows you to fill it up with bait and water, and you let it hang out there until they get a little oxygen deprived. And then you toss the baits in there so you don't have to smash them by hand to make them erratic.
So I'm not that patient. I just put my hand over the top and shake them up a little bit.
It's awesome.
So red fishing is very similar to bass fishing in the fact they like to relate to structure, especially docks. We have docks all throughout our bay system here, and it's something that we fish on a pretty regular basis. You can live bait fish around them. You can skip soft plastics up under them just like you're bass fishing.
All right, so in all the dock fishing I've done, I haven't ever figured out what makes one dock better than the other.
And it changes. I don't know. It just changes. You know, you just got to look around.
Why of these 500 docks
Yeah.
does that dock have fish?
It's weird dock fishing because it seems like there's always hot docks and docks that are just dead. And I'll be honest with you, you know, we have theories on a lot of it. You know, older docks, bigger docks, docks that have deeper water around them, stuff like that. We always tend to think make it a better dock. But it seems like just as soon as you have a good bite on that dock, you come back a week later and there's nothing on it. And they've moved on to another dock. So a lot of times we just got to put the time in, put some work in, and scout these places and find where those fish are at.
Got him. Yeah, redfish.
All right.
Look how cute he is. All dark enough.
The largemouth bass of the flats.
And if we can't see them physically with our eyes, then we have to do that scouting with the rod and reel. And we'll skip, like I said, soft plastic, skipping up under a dock, to me is the best presentation. I was just telling Travis, this is a new style. It's kind of a cross between a jig head and a, yeah. You can get a long cast, a little head weight, but then you can still rig it wheelless. Pretty cool. So when you hook up with a big redfish, or a sail cat for that matter, in the beginning the fight's very similar, because most of the time that redfish doesn't realize he's hooked yet. You're just waiting for him to make that big long run. Go the other way. Turn and go the other way.
Hey, pulling drag.
He's pulling some drag. And when they make that long run, then you know for sure it's a redfish.
That might be what we're looking for.
It might be a red one.
Yeah, run, little bulldog. I love redfish. They're not really fast, but they're strong. If only these things jumped, they'd be the perfect fish. I know.
That's a little nicer fish. Ain't nothing wrong with him.
Look at the colors on him.
Beautiful.
Little blue tail, tannic. Water in their diet of keratin is what gives them the color. That's a blast on a little rod.
So today was basically exactly what we thought it would be. Cold, windy, and you know, but that's fine. We had a blast.
Oh, got a little pullback.
Any day on the boat's better than a day in the office.
And that's why I love fishing. It's all fun.
Chasing the Sun has been brought to you by Native Eyewear, built for the backcountry. Florida Fishing Products, fish better, fish Florida. Dulce Vida Tequila. Extra Tough, the original fishing boot. And by Visit Panama City Beach.
So today was basically exactly what we thought it would be. Cold, windy, and you know, but that's fine. We had a blast.
Having a great time.
But this is all part of, you know, rediscovering what's happening after a front like this. You know, the beach might have been nice enough. There could have been albies all over, and that might have been what we made our day out of. But we start building up that list of options. Albies, no. Redfish on the flats, yes.
Because you can always find a lee somewhere.
That's it. And that's why I love fishing. It's all fun. Big, little, trout, redfish, whatever.
That's a keeper in Louisiana.
You know, I really wish we could keep some of these smaller trout. I have no science to back this up, but we have millions of these smaller trout in our bay now. And I think, Justin's theory, we have so many small trout, you know, they're all competing for the same food, and you just run out of food, and we don't see as many larger trout as we once did. Now the numbers are there. We got plenty of them, just a lot of smaller. We don't have to catch world record fish to have a good time. You know, the fishing was tough. We did succeed and catch a couple redfish, which we always feel like we can do no matter the conditions, and this is proof of that we made that happen, although there weren't any great trophies. But, you know, obviously we caught some stuff that we weren't really looking for either.
Come on.
Ooh.
Justin's hooked up.
Maybe another trout, but it's a fish. All right, another trout. Oh, I hear him talking. A little drumming action. So I was just saying, so they are actually a member of the drum family, not the trout family. And they got some teeth too. They usually got a good fang up front. Look at that. Like a vampire teeth.
You can't win if you're not in the race.
They're not up on the surface busting, you ain't catching them. But that's another good thing about fly fishing. Even if you're not seeing fish and not catching fish, it's still fun to cast.
Some days are tough, and when they're tough,
Sure,
if you go
catch
out
them.
and you
They're a
force
blast.
like, oh,
Catch a couple of
redfish.
them. If you're in a
And
tournament,
if it happens for a while,
catch them
but
all.
if you're just out
That's what we're trying to do.
Catch
them all. I want to catch everything
that's
that's
good
good
time.
Sure, catch them. They're a blast. Catch a couple of them.
And if it happens for a while,
Catch them all.
any day on the
That's what
boat's
we're
better
trying
than
to
a day
do.
in the office.
Catch them all. I want to catch
if
everything
Cap
that's
Top
swims.
Sell catfish is what we're catching,
And that's what we're catching.
yeah. It beats sitting at the dock or
little
sitting in front of the TV.
Hopefully
Any day
this
on the
will
boat's
inspire
better
some
than a day
people
in
to
the
get off
office.
the couch on a day
Cap
that they
Top
wouldn't
Sell catfish is
necessarily
what
go
we're
and go
catching.
have fun. That's what we're catching.
Yeah. It beats sitting at the dock or sitting in front of the TV.